Hi guys, Fire Players here and welcome back to another YouTube video on the channel. And today guys, we are going to be doing another fixture reaction video. Right guys, now this series definitely been a good one, definitely been enjoyable, and we are now pretty much halfway through. So GWS is the 9th team in the competition, so this pretty much will mark the halfway point of this series. Alright guys, so today we are going to be doing their fixture reaction again. Nothing's changed from last time. We've already done Adelaide, Brisbane, Carlton, Collingwood, Essendon, Fremantle, Geelong and Gold Coast. And today's GWS. Then we've still got Hawthorn, Melbourne, North, Port Adelaide, Richmond, St Kilda, Sydney, West Coast, Western Bulldogs still to go. But today we are going to be doing GWS. Again, hardest part of the fixture, easiest part of the fixture, how many wins, predicting every game, all that cool stuff. So today, let's hop right into it. So GWS, first we'll have a really good derby first up against the Sydney Swans. Now this one could definitely go either way. This is going to be another, probably a longer fixture reaction series, especially compared to Gold Coast, who just went for under 9 minutes. But yeah, today this one could be going 13 minutes, just because it's interesting when you do the teams that are in a race for the 8, Essendon, Fremantle, GWS, St Kilda possibly, so yeah, and Richmond. But anyway, I'm going to say Sydney will take out the first game by about 10 points. Into the second game now. They've got Richmond. Now, this one is going to be so interesting, this one. This is very important, this game. It's going to be two teams battling for a top 8 spot, I reckon, this year. I reckon Richmond are going to come back and be better. I reckon GWS are going to come back and be better as well. I reckon it's going to be two very quality teams facing off. I really hope they face each other twice. I hope GWS face Essendon twice. But yeah, this game is going to be an absolute belter, I can just tell. I'm going to say, just because it's at the MCG, I'm just going to say Richmond will take it out by about 5 points. And then they got Gold Coast, which this one should be about a 50-point win for the Giants. So they begin their year off finally with their first win. The GWS Giants against Gold Coast in round 3. And then they play Fremantle Saturday night, round 4, Optus Stadium. Now this is really interesting. Well, Saturday twilight for Perth. Now, this is really interesting because this game is very important. This game is going to shape it all up, really. Now, of course, this game is very important for Fremantle. Now, if you haven't seen those videos, I've already made 2 videos on Fremantle about how interesting they are, about how their fixture starts off really easy and then it gets really hard. This is a game Fremantle must win, and I do think they will win it. So I'm going to say Fremantle by 10 points. So, unfortunately, GWS, their start to the year hasn't gone too well. And, well, it gets even harder as they have Melbourne next up. Again, probably not a bad game, this one. I'm going to say Melbourne by 20 points. However, I reckon GWS are going to stick in it, going to play really hard. They're going to fade away later and end up losing. I reckon it's going to be really tight for the first 3 quarters. I reckon they're going to get out to about a 20-point lead at some stage, GWS, in that game. Now, GWS versus St Kilda, Monica Oval. Now, very important, this one. Again, could go either way. St Kilda are going to be another interesting team this year. Definitely will be looking forward to doing their fixture reaction because, of course, another team that's looking to try and make the 8. Of course, last year they weren't that good. This year, though, maybe St Kilda will step up. Of course, though, you can't go against the Giants at Monica, so I'm going to say the Giants, even though you can go against them. But, I just think against maybe just the under St Kilda team, I don't think they've played there too often. I think GWS should be able to take that out by 20 points. They come here to Adelaide and they take on the mighty Crows, which are not that mighty. So, pretty safe 40-point win for the Giants. And then Saturday, May 7, round 8. An absolute belter. GWS versus Geelong, Monica Oval, as good as you'll probably get. If I was to be completely honest, I think the team winning this contest will be GWS. I reckon they'll win it by 5 points. It's a bit of a gutsy call. You know what? I might change. Oh, this one could go either way. Look. I'm going to say GWS by 5 points. Just go for something a little bit different. Now GWS and Carlton, round 9, 2:50. My time, 3:20 New South Wales time, and Victorian time, and Tasmanian time, and Queensland time. Yeah. It's GWS versus Carlton. And this one is one-sided. I'm going to say GWS by 35 points. Now, we get into where the date and time needs to be confirmed from round 10 and onwards. Now, this kind of, again, will set up GWS. They're kind of going half-hearted at the moment. They've got to get a good end-on win. I can already see 2 games here they should be winning. So, GWS versus West Coast Giants. I reckon GWS should be able to take this one out by 30 points. Brisbane versus GWS. Brisbane will take this one out by about 30 points. And Marvel Stadium, North Melbourne versus GWS. GWS will come back. We'll go to Marvel Stadium and take that one out by 40 points. So that's important for the Giants. And then they've got Giants Stadium against the Western Bulldogs. Ooh, this is a good game. Now, again, GWS would probably want to be winning this one to stay in the hunt for the 8. I'm going to say the Western Bulldogs win this one by 25 points. Going to be close. Don't get me wrong there. This one's going to be a good game. I reckon the games against Geelong, the Western Bulldogs, should be close. We're going to be going back and looking at some of them games in when we end looking at their fixture, their whole fixture. Collingwood versus GWS at the MCG. Now, I actually thought last year this was going to be a good game. GWS took it out by 30 points. This year, I still think it does actually have a chance to be a good game. Now, why? I don't know. I just think it might. I don't know. I still think GWS will take it out. I just don't think they're going to do it by any means convincing. I think they'll take it out by about probably 40 points this year. Do it convincingly. Although Collingwood will play for the first 2 quarters and then slip away later. Then GWS versus Hawthorn. We have got a pretty good game here. Giants Stadium though. So GWS will take this one out by 40 points. And then Port Adelaide versus GWS here at Adelaide Oval. Now, we've had Port Adelaide. I've seen that these 2 teams in the past have had some very good games, especially one where GWS came to Adelaide Oval and won by 1 point against Port Adelaide. That was a very good game from start to finish. That's one. And well, GWS could definitely win it, but it's just the strength that Port Adelaide have. They're just a very well-made team. Port Adelaide, they've got everything that you need. So it's Port Adelaide this one by probably 30 points. I think GWS is still going to come and play. They're going to fight hard. But I just don't think they'll have enough to win. Now, GWS Brisbane Manuka Oval. Now, interesting. This one could definitely go either way as well. Now, Brisbane are a strong team. Away from home, they don't have troubles like West Coast do, but they have sometimes just a couple of little niggles away from home. They just don't play their 100% best away from home. So I'm going to say an upset, and I'm going to say the Giants to win this one by 15 points. Now, I know it's a bit of a risk going for that and all that, but I just think Brisbane have a couple of niggly-jigglies away from home. 2021 showcased it. Their 1 point win over Collingwood away from home. Their 18-point win over Carlton away from home. It's just, I just don't think they'll play as well away from home as if it was at the Gabba. They'd probably crush them to bits. But because it's at Manuka Oval and Brisbane do have a couple of niggly-jigglies away from home, they don't quite play away from home as well as they do up at the Gabba because it's their fortress. That's why I think GWS are going to win this one by 15 points. And yeah, I think I've explained it pretty well. That's why. I just think it's going to be a really good game from start to finish. And I just think GWS is just going to slip away at the end and take an absolute thriller away from the Lions. Very interesting. Now, Carlton versus GWS at Marvel Stadium. Going to say GWS by 20 points. Sydney versus GWS SCG. Look, I'm going to say Sydney by 10 points. It's going to be really close, that one. Another really good derby. They've got one in round 1 and one in the later stages of the year. One in the later stages. GWS Essendon Giants Stadium. Wow, they're giving us some good games, alright? They are giving us some good games. This is going to be really interesting. And this one will probably kind of almost shape the 8 for now. And then GWS play Fremantle after they play the Western Bulldogs. So, a couple of big games here. Against Essendon, I'm going to say GWS will take it out by about 15 points. Only just. It's going to be an absolute thriller again. And then 2 more games to go. Western Bulldogs versus GWS Marvel Stadium. I'm going to say Western Bulldogs by 25 points. And then to end off the year, this is a massive game. GWS versus Fremantle at Manuka Oval. This game is absolutely massive because they've just played Essendon in the past couple of weeks. They just played Essendon round 21. Round 23, they've got Fremantle. This one decides all. It is going to be GWS taking it out by 10 points. So it is time to go ahead and count up their wins, because this one's been interesting. This one could be anywhere, really. They could definitely miss the 8, definitely easily, the Giants, or they could definitely make it. So let's go and count them up. 1, 2, 3. Did I say they win against the Cats? 3. Gonna leave it at 3. 4, 5, 6. And then we're gonna go 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That is just enough to get GWS into the 8. So if they win all the games, and then they could definitely beat Richmond at the MCG. That's definitely something that's not out of reach. And they could definitely end up beating GWS at, they could beat Geelong at Manuka Oval. They could also go ahead and beat the Western Bulldogs at Giants Stadium as well. They could go ahead and probably beat the Swans sometime. So it's going to be very interesting. So this is going to get them a top 8 spot. So I'm going to say on this year, they should win anywhere from 11 to 13 games. 11 to 13 games. Now, where will that get you? That's going to probably get you anywhere from 7th to about 10th. So, again, for GWS, it's going to be a very interesting year. Another team to watch out on because of their chances of making the 8. So, their rough ladder position is somewhere in the 8, really. 7 to 11 probably is 7 to 10, 7 to 11, 8 to 10. 7 to 10 is probably where they'll finish a good range of a ladder position. Wins 11 to 13. And then hardest part of the fixture, well, they do start off with 2 reasonably tough games. Then they've got another 2, but one of them is winnable. I'm going to say the toughest part of the fixture is probably... they've got like little parts. They've got like 1 and 2 game spurts. It's pretty much for GWS. It's 1 hard, 1 easy, 1 hard. And then the occasional it goes to 2 hard, 2 easy, like two hard games, 2 easy games. So it's just a kind of an interesting fixture week by week for the Giants. This is massive for the Giants. Now that you guys let me know, Giants finished in the 8. Do you guys think, or do you think they're going to miss the 8? Do you think they're going to fall a long way out, or do you reckon they're going to book themselves a top 5 spot or a top 6 spot? You guys can let me know. GWS are another interesting team, just like Fremantle and Essendon. Both those 2 teams are interesting. GWS is interesting. Richmond and St Kilda are going to be 2 more interesting teams just because they sit on the verge of that 8, and that's always interesting. But I do hope you guys did enjoy this video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you guys will never miss another video on the channel. Thank you guys all so much for watching. So bye guys. Fire plays out.